What ho, chaps? How the devil? Marvellous to see you all in on this fine day. Oxbridge Pleasantries, I can do them quick. It's not too full. Jeff, how are you doing? Two-tone, nice to see the regulars in. Harold, MGH, J Turner, now then, Jokeley, Bex, how are you? Professor Andy, Matt Oliver, David Harris, Charles, how the devil? JP's networking channel, A up, Alex Hunt, Usky, The Sash, British Empire #1 fan, I'm a close second, Zardoz, Negative D, John Boy, Pepe Le Pew, Craig Hewitt, Carl Pollard, YouTube is lefty shit. Yes, it definitely is. James Flowers, A up Al, how are you doing? Nicky, Alan Dudson, Andy Cooper, Tess Darcy, hello there, and John Hunter. Richie Island, Mark Girdlestone, Paul Whiting, Ragnar, Susan, Susan appears to have taken me off the naughty list, so maybe from now on I can just call her Susan instead of Susan. You know, when you're so angry you can't even finish the word. So, anyone got Matty on visual? Surely I'm on visual. It certainly looks like I am. If not, do a Fonzie and go, hey, and slap your TV. See what happens. Anyway, so I hope you all watched my last video. Biden is completely off his box. He is absolutely tonto. The man is batshit crazy by any metric. I can't believe he said the words extraordinary success. Less than a week after a bunch of young Marines have just died. What's that all about? Less than a week. Extraordinary success. All they're interested in is optics. That's why they bombed them little kids. If anyone didn't see that, you see 9 kids got killed in a drone strike? Let's have a look for that. 9 kids killed drone strike. 10 family members, including children, dead after US strike in Kabul. That was political. It was expressly political. Because these scumbags aren't interested in what's right. They've got the morals of a leech or a tick. Although not a leech or a tick's just doing what it's born into, what it's trained for. Biden chose to become a dirty politician. I don't understand how anyone can even deal with, can even sleep at night if they voted for this horrible bastard. Yeah, the Dunkirk one. I will say, on a technicality, I guess the Guardian readers would say he was talking specifically about an airlift. But yeah, when he said no one's ever done anything like this before, it's like, yeah, we have. We've done something like it when we got 300,000 people out using a fucking hundreds tiny ships and resolve and determination. Yeah, that was when our civilian sector had a backbone instead of the fucking pathetic quislings that they are now. It's awful. Fucking awful. Keep students informed. Well, you're not going to keep them informed with CNN, are you? They'll learn more off a fucking picture book. If you give them the Very Angry Ladybird, they'll learn more than what you'll get off 6 months perusing the CNN website. No, fuck off. No, fuck off. That should be an option. In a lighter note, have you seen the Paralympics medal table? Remember when Jimmy Carr got loads of shit because he said, at least with all this war going on, we'll have a hell of a Paralympic team. And everybody said, oh, fucking hell. You know, because the left who hate the military and despise the working class lads that join it, they love to pretend they like it when they can run somebody down for making a quip they don't like. Yeah, that's what that is. Jimmy Carr's rich. So they're, oh, we fucking love that. No, you hate the military. You hate the military. You despise them. Leftism is built around tearing down the system and breeding resent and hatred. They pretend they like the working class, but like any political scientist will tell you, worth the salt. Sorry, not one of these fake ones from educated in the last 10, 15 years, their ideology isn't motivated around helping the poor. It's motivated by destroying the rich. Thatcher said it loads of times. Famously. You don't care about helping the poor. You would be more than happy for the poor to have less, as long as the rich have got less too. Their entire hateful ideology is based around tearing down the working class. They have utter scorn for people like me. And you. Because I'm pretty sure we're all working class in here, aren't we? They hate the working class. Because they're bourgeois middle class lefties. They hate them. They hate you. They hate the Football Lads Alliance. They hate plumbers and bricklayers and fucking window cleaners. I'll tell you what they do like. Oxbridge educated fucking arseholes who work for the BBC or the Guardian or the Independent. Emily Maitlis. They're like Emily Maitlis. They're like twats on Question Time that talk like they've got plums in the mouth. But they don't like you, working class scum. Ugh, a window cleaner. Ugh, they smell of chemicals. Fuck off, scumbag. Idle class. Well, fuck it. Who cares? We've got bigger fish to fry. Absolute scumbags. I told you, you can tell by the whole working class, middle class thing. Because all you have to do is, I told you, you tell me a constituency and I know whether they voted Remain or Brexit just by how much of a shithole it is. Harrogate's posh. Guarantee Harrogate voted Remain. York, oh yes, York. From York, don't you know? Yeah, they'll have voted Remain. Hartlepool, if we fucking know what Hartlepool voted. Middlesbrough, fucking Stoke-on-Trent. Hull, what did Hull vote? I guarantee it wasn't fucking Remain. They don't like working class people. And the fact that there's modern people still voting for Labour when they've been completely consumed by these bourgeois fucking communist fucking academic dickheads absolutely astounds me. It's like the brain hasn't caught up with the fucking arse. So yeah, shite. Gallipoli, yeah, there's a good one, Zardos. Gallipoli. The Corps got some fucking sterling battle on us from back in the day. St Nazaire. Them were the days when men were men and sheep were scared. There was a lot of Welsh Marines. So, yeah. Bomb kids to make a cheap political point. Right? That's all he wanted to look strong. After fucking up the entire world. Getting a load of US soldiers killed. He wanted to look strong. So he was like, blame it on ISIS-K, who no one had even fucking heard of a month ago. You've got British politicians and intelligence services personnel going, ISIS fucking K, who are they? Who the fuck are they? Joe Biden miracled ISIS-K out of his arsehole so he could drop a bomb on 10 family members and go, look, we showed them bastards. What do you mean strong? Joe Biden is weak. He's as pathetic as it comes. Look at the dribbling little fat. He's just a frail, dribbly, thin-skinned, crotchety old fucking scumbag. A self-serving pensioner with the moral fibre of a rattlesnake with a hangover. I fucking hate him. And he's weak and frail and pathetic. When I ejaculate, it's like a sawn-off shotgun. It'll blast straight through your back. I've got to calm down before I'm on the vinegar strokes. Joe Biden, it's like fucking it's like a thimble full of Perrier water. I'm just riffing now. I just hate Joe Biden. I shouldn't mock an old man for being weak and frail, but I do when he's weak and frail and also morally bereft and also self-serving scum who's enriched himself on the public tit for 40 years while the entire world goes to shit on his watch. It's what Trump said that was totally right. You've been in politics 40 years and now you're like, I know how to fix everything. You're fucking like Mum-Ra the ever-living. How old is he? 130. He's been in politics half of his 130 years. And he's like, I know how to fix everything. You don't. You don't. You can't even put your tie on. You go on long meandering speeches about cockroaches when you're in the middle of fucking political debate. You don't know where you are. You've got Velcro fucking shoes on. Crocs. He has to go to the Senate in Crocs because he can't fucking work laces. And now he's like, I'll tell you how to fix everything. Do me a fucking favour. Christ on a bike. Anyway, I'm just whinging. Should we do some fucking news? Oh, Paz popped up as soon as Sheep got a mention. Hello, Paz, how you doing? I think I'm off the naughty step, Paz. I've managed to get more than 2 figures subscribing to my channel in the last couple of weeks. I think Suza, she's been relegated now to Susan instead of... So, yeah, she's doing all right. Anyway, fucking Biden, what an arsehole. Paz, by the way, correctly pointed out, yeah, and several of the people in the chat, and anyone who's ever watched Dunkirk, right, you don't have to be a historian, you just have to see the fucking movie. Quite obvious that more than a few 100,000 Americans got airlifted out. That was like a colossal operation under enemy fire. The most powerful military in the world at the time, with the best generals. Because ever have the British been led by donkeys? Fucking hell. Yeah, the stuff about the guns and vehicles left behind, staggering. Oh my fucking God. They've got more helicopters than most air forces now. The Taliban. It's an absolute shambles. Absolute shambles. It couldn't have gone any worse. It literally couldn't have gone any worse. They even left the dogs behind. Have you seen that? Fucking dogs abandoned. It's like if I was asked to riff on it and just make shit up. If I was like writing a fiction novel and they were like, write the worst ever withdrawal from Afghanistan you can possibly imagine, it wouldn't have some of the shit in it that they've done. I wouldn't be imaginative enough to go, oh yeah, and then a load of American kids got killed, and then we left them with the biggest air force in the third biggest air force in the world, and then what else? They left a load of service dogs in a cage to get tortured to death by the Taliban. Like, it's not enough leaving women and kids to get killed and tortured to death by the Taliban. Service dogs. I'm an imaginative bastard, and even I wouldn't have thought of that. Fuck it. Kill some Alsatians while you're at it. Put that in. Torture a Chihuahua to fucking death. Yeah? Chop a Yorkie's head off, just for good measure. I mean, I wouldn't have thought of that one. Fuck me. So, yeah, well done. Well done. Extraordinary success. Extraordinary clusterfuck is what that was. When even the American service dogs are getting gassed, I don't think you can call it an extraordinary success. Call me a bluff old traditionalist. Fucking absolute lunacy. First 20 minutes of Saving Private Ryan. It was nout that. It was nout that. Not like Joe Biden's had to put up with in his life. He's like, press soldiers. They're all cowards and weaklings. I once had to have a lengthy argument on Capitol Hill. You fucking horrible self-aggrandizing old weasel. Fucking man's vermin. Right, I'll do some news. Here's a leaked one that you haven't heard much in the mainstream media because obviously they don't want you to know because they're nakedly partisan. Before the Afghan collapse, Biden pressed Ghani to change perception. So he's on tape here, right? And I'll quote him. Here is the incompetent, useless. Of course he's incompetent and useless. He was picked by American academics. Those of you that haven't heard of Ashraf Ghani, he's just another American educated elite, right? Went to a posh university, got his fucking head filled with cow shit. Went over to Afghanistan to be a puppet. Those in the know have been saying they should have just stuck the old king back in, like someone from the old royal family, who was at least some form of unifying presence. But this guy is just an American puppet with a head full of horse shit because he was privately educated at some fucking posh American university, which we know for the last 15, 20 years has gone completely downhill. It's become just a license to print money, and nobody gets an education. They just get indoctrinated to be a fucking idiot. Why would you want to be indoctrinated to be a fucking idiot? There's a weird one, isn't it? So, makes no sense to me. But he's on tape, obviously, because those that aren't insane are now leaking again, just as they did under Trump. They were leaking because they were politically indoctrinated ideologues. Now they're leaking because they're like, oh my God, a geriatric fucktard is in charge of the entire country. Now they're doing it because they're like, holy shit, a man who I wouldn't trust to operate a Nintendo Game Boy is now the commander-in-chief. A bloke who can't figure out how to work a fucking corkscrew is currently running the US government. Like, it's no shit to leak in. It'd be a moral imperative to leak, wouldn't it? So it says, Washington, August 31st, in the last call between US President Joe Biden and his Afghan counterpart before the Taliban seized control of the country, the leaders discussed military aid, political strategy and messaging tactics. So, not really remotely interested about what's actually happening when he's getting told by his fucking generals and his intelligence guys, the Taliban are going to retake the country, you silly daft cunt. No, he's just interested in political strategy and messaging, right? So they don't fucking talk about the danger the entire fucking country is in, because they're both interested in feathering their own nests. Biden's the same as Ashraf Ghani. They're self-trimming scum. They don't have any moral fibre. They don't have a backbone between them. If you put Biden, Ashraf Ghani and Boris Johnson in a bucket, they would fit quite neatly because there isn't a bone among them. They're just boneless fucking jellyfish. So neither of them talked about what's actually going on, the immediate danger of the entire country, because they're not interested. They're thinking 2 steps ahead. What can I do for me? How much money can I make for me? How's this going to make me look good? Do your job, Commander-in-Chief. Commander-in-Chief. Fucking put one of the Boy Scouts in charge. Girl Guides. The men spoke for 14 minutes. Not once did they talk about, have you heard the Taliban are going to take over the country? Nah. Let's do political messaging. Let's make ourselves look good. It says, since then, tens of thousands of desperate Afghans fled, 13 US troops dead, fucking $80 billion worth of fucking combat equipment in the arms of the Taliban, making them the best armed fucking jihadis on planet Earth, right? The best armed jihadis on planet Earth. They basically now make Al-Qaeda and Boko Haram look like a fucking 3 Girl Guides selling cookies outside Morrison's. Do they even sell cookies in England? I don't know. Anyway, probably not. They like to get them into capitalism nice and early over here. Or they used to. Now they just tell them all to convert to fucking Wicca and become lesbians. That's what the Girl Guides do now. But in the 90s, they still taught them how to do useful things. Now you go in the Girl Guides, they don't tell you anything useful. They don't teach you how to tie a knot. They tell you how to scissor your fucking girlfriend. And dye your hair purple and fire a coach bolt through your tongue so you fit in at your fucking militant black power disabled lesbian anniversary gathering. It says Reuters reviewed a transcript of the presidential phone call and listened to the audio to authenticate the conversation. Yeah, so this is genuine, off Reuters. It's not a fucking source. They love to say that, don't they? If it's not in The Guardian, they say the source isn't valid. It's on Fox News. Fox News is no more biased than the fucking Guardian is. If anything, Fox News is positively reserved compared to the Guardian. In the call, Biden offered aid if Ghani could publicly project he had a plan to control the spiraling situation in Afghanistan. So he rang him and said, I'll give you money as long as you lie. Is that not an accurate summation of events there? Yeah? It's a fair one, isn't it? He basically said, if you're happy to lie, to say everything's tickety-boo in Afghanistan, jobs are good and you can have some money. And bear in mind, Trump was impeached over a fucking phone call just like this one, except nowhere near as bad, because Trump rang the guy and said, hey, it looks dodgy as fuck. What's going on over there? Where they were looking into corruption, and you fire and Biden demanded that you fire the special prosecutor that was looking into it all. That looks dodgy as fuck, doesn't it? Maybe you should look into it. Impeached him. Impeached him for what? Impeached if what? You might as well impeach me for coming downstairs, finding a burglar rifling through my fucking dressing table, and when I ring the police say, some skinny cunt's rifling through my fucking dressing table here. Ooh, we're not here to deal with that, sir. That's not our job. We don't join the police to deal with crime. No, we join to have a rainbow-adorbed fucking panda car and drive around the streets cruising for cock. That's why we join the police, you fucking worm. And seriously, you can see why I'm down on the police. Google Cleveland Police, the Middlesbrough Police Force. They're as bent as a fucking £8 note. There is no police force in the country as bad as Cleveland Police, which I knew. Because they let themselves in the cells and knock the shite out of my dad with a truncheon. But that's another story. That's another story. And to be fair, he had punched a copper. But still, civil rights and all that. You're not meant to let yourself in the cell while he's sleeping off a skinful and knock the shite out of him with a truncheon, are you? So anyway, bent as fuck. Bent as fuck. Our police station closes at 5. I've told the story before. My mate Jonesy used to work on the pitching putt in Middlesbrough, and when a load of skinheads on motorbikes started doing donuts on the fucking putting green, he rang the police and they went, phone back in an hour, mate. Phone back in an hour. It's a match day. We've got no one. We've got no one. Like he's phoning a fucking pizza. Can you imagine? Yeah, there's 12 gypsies gang raping my wife in the back garden. Let her get reamed for an hour or two. We'll be back. Phone us back in 2 hours. When she's squelching and leaving a fucking snail trail through the kitchen. Phone us back. We'll sort it out then. We might be finished soon enough to get someone out there so they can mop the fucking spunk up off your kitchen floor. But other than that, you're on your own, fella. You're on your own, fella. It's a fucking absolute. Everything's gone tits up. You can't even phone the fucking police anymore. Like, do we not live in a fucking failed state at this point? A failed state. The police are incompetent. They don't solve any crimes. They'll get it if it's a fucking murder and it makes the fucking front of the BBC, but they don't solve crimes. Try phoning them when someone pinches your bike or burgles your shed. See how fucking far you get. PC Wiggum, at least I seen him run a few times, you know, chasing pretzels and beer or whatever it was. The police are fucking useless. Don't solve any crimes. Live in a fucking failed state. That's all they're there for, to check your thinking. The actual thought police. Fucking unbelievable. Oh yeah, where was I? Went on a bit of a tangent there, like I'm prone to do. That's what you come for. That's what you come for. It says the US president also advised Ghani to get buy-in from powerful Afghans for a military strategy going forward. That's not so bad. And then put a warrior in charge of the effort. So, common sense, because he knows the guy they've nominated is a fucking peacock. Just a fancy, well-educated puppet who knows nothing and isn't popular. Then he said, this is the best bit. In much of the call, Biden focused on what he called the Afghan government's perception problem. He said, I need not tell you the perception around the world and in parts of Afghanistan, I believe, is that things are not going well in terms of the fight against the Taliban. He has a mealy-mouthed way of speaking as well, doesn't he? I fucking hate the way the crusty old twat talks. He said, and this is the good bit, and there is a need, whether it is true or not, there is a need to project a different picture. So he's telling their installed puppet president to lie. There is a need, whether it's true or not, to project a different picture. And Trump was impeached because the dodgiest fucking dealings known to man, it was Arthur Daley crossed with fucking Del Trotter, crossed with the fucking Peaky Blinders, crossed with Anders Breivik and Ian Huntley, yeah, and a bit of Jimmy Savile thrown in for good measure. That's the Biden administration. There's like kiddie fiddling, fucking nonsense, kids sniffing, bribery, corruption, money laundering. It's like it's like the Sopranos, Jimmy Savile, and fucking the Yorkshire Ripper, Weinstein, the fucking lot. It's got plenty going on, the Biden administration. It'll make a fucking great Netflix TV show in about 30 years when the nightmare is fucking over and the communists have been driven into the sea. But until then, it's not fucking funny. Make the TV show when I'm Alden Grey or fucking mercifully dead. But until then, fix the fucking problem. And this horrible bastard talking about telling him to lie, offering him aid tied to favours, telling him to lie. Not even mentioned on the BBC. Not even mentioned. Trump said, this looks dodgy, maybe we should look into it. Fucking 3 weeks coverage off the mainstream media. Silicon Valley, we had that in the Twitter hashtags on the right-hand side of the screen every fucking day for a month. But this cunt telling another man, a popinjay, an installed spunk trumpet who knows nothing and has no respect and was always going to turn tail the second it turned a little bit shan. Nothing. Nothing from the BBC, nothing from The Guardian, nothing from fucking Twitter or Facebook or Google or fucking Susan. Nothing from any of them. Fucking tumbleweed. You couldn't make it up. You couldn't make it up. So like I said, impeached for doing his job, Kate, yes. Sniffy Joe the crackhead and the nonces. That's not a bad name for a TV show. President fucking Elson. President Elson Neggers Blue Juice and his noncy smackhead son. How about that for a fucking show? Crossed with Tony Soprano, the fucking the gimp from Pulp Fiction, and Ted Bundy. That's the Biden administration. And Chairman Mao, because they are as bent as it comes and they're authoritarian. It's sickening. It is sickening. It shows they're authoritarian because when they fuck up, they don't ever feel the need to admit they fucked up. Only an authoritarian regime secure in its power is as brazen as this cunt is. I mean, seriously, extraordinary success. How brazen do you need to be? It's been a shambles. It's been a bloodbath. There's dead kids, dead American kids lying on the sands. And he calls it an extraordinary success. Blinken, the Secretary of State, didn't even know the Afghan Prime Minister's name. He said, I spoke. Seriously, I'm not making this up. This is Ashraf, by the way. Ashraf Ghani is was the president of Afghanistan. Blinken said, I got off the phone with President Karzai just the other day. President Karzai hasn't been the fucking Afghan president since when I was out, like 2014, I think, he left. So he said, I've just got off the phone with Mr. Ghani. I just got off the phone with Hamid Karzai. The fucker hasn't been the president for fucking 7 years. They're just brazen. And they fuck up and they go, whoopsie, and just crack on. Like it never happened. That's how fucked up they are. Brazen, lying, noncing, bribery, corruption, everything, check. Noncy, bribery, corruption, tax dodgy, fucking cash for favours, you fucking name it, they'll do the lot. And then you've got the social justice general, thoroughly modern Miley, talking about fucking white rage instead of what are we going to do about the big hairy ass geezers with AK-47s. And cap it all off, they fucking nominated this preening popinjay who knows less about the fucking military than Jess Phillips. And it is a shambles of their making. Seriously, this guy knows absolutely fuck all. He went to the United States in the 1960s. Who the fuck's going to get behind him in Afghanistan? That's like having a fucking British Prime Minister from, Hank McGraw from fucking Dallas. Nobody's going to respect the guy, and they're not going to be confident that he knows what he's talking about. It's a load of shit. And the second it looked like it was going to kick off, the second he filled a fucking briefcase full of money and fucked off. During his escape, the Afghan embassy asked Interpol to apprehend him for embezzling public funds. Yeah, he filled a suitcase full of money and fucked off. So this guy fits in fucking well with the Biden regime, doesn't he? with the authoritarian, shameless, corrupt, money-mad liars of the Biden regime, this guy fits in a fucking treat. I mean, he's no worse than Biden, but that's a very low bar. That's a very low bar. Warwick fucking Davies couldn't sniper crawl under a bar that low. Fucking, it's unbelievable. So there we have it. Absolute fucking shambles. It's doing my head in as well, Winston. Absolutely fucking shambolic. Shambolic. And they are beyond shame. Biden has not even got the good grace to be ashamed and embarrassed. He'll go on the TV, call it an extraordinary success after we've just buried a load of kids. While the guy he installed, his fucking regime, took tail and ran that instantly looked dodgy with a briefcase full of stolen money. While bombing children to make a cheap political point. While, and this is another fucking corker, I did talk about it briefly in a post. I'll use the Independent because there's a communist fucking source, so you know it's not made up. Facebook says deleting account of slain soldier's mother who criticised Joe Biden was a mistake. Fuck me. A mistake. This is how bad it's got. So, on the off chance someone gets the word out, someone's got some traction, like the poor mother of a recently killed soldier, killed due to Biden's lies, incompetence and corruption, she goes on Facebook and starts getting a bit of traction because she's making posts saying Joe Biden's a worm, Joe Biden's lower than a fucking gecko's gonads. Right? And there's fucking deleted her account. Deleted her account. Deleted her Instagram, deleted her Facebook. Only when the old Streisand effect kicked in and there was 100,000 people fucking outraged at Jack Doorstop, Mark Zucker twat, and Susan. She deserves a Susan for that, because that is criminal. Bereaved mother. Banned from Facebook and Instagram for being angry and criticising the president. What more do I need to say? I don't need to add any pithy comments or smart remarks. That is fucking criminal. Criminal. You have the right to criticise your elected officials, especially if he's just got your son killed, and they fucking go, whoa, someone's criticising the dear leader. Delete, 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 delete. Fucking Doorstop. He's the worst. I think there is a pecking order, and honestly, this is how bad it's got. YouTube, which is thoroughly immoral, thoroughly detestable, authoritarian, bans people on a whim, doesn't give a flying fuck about freedom of speech. They're like ISIS, basically. Progressive ISIS. And YouTube are better than Facebook, Google, Twitter. Well, the two bad ones, Facebook and Twitter, isn't it? Google, Alphabet, it's a more complex. I believe it's related to YouTube at this point, but Facebook and Twitter are absolutely shocking. Yes, Stuart, Facebook and Twitter are fucking shocking. Shocking. That is criminal. The mother of the cardboard blast victim has been unbanned from Instagram. The company said it removed her account by accident. By accident. It's happened 100 fucking times. Republican senators, conservative pundits, anybody right, a fucking Chairman Mao gets banned and they go, whoops-a-daisy. Normally, they do it to take the edge off, because when you go viral, it's important for it to like carry on the momentum as it goes. So what they do is they do it to blunt that, leave it 24 hours, and then reinstate it and go, ooh, that was a mistake. Because they don't want more people to know about what's going on. It is trivially obvious, so obvious that I feel embarrassed telling you about it, because you guys know the score. Everybody knows what's going on. It's trivially obvious to anybody with eyeballs. We know what's going on. We know it's not an accident. We know it's not an accident. It's like Biden saying extraordinary success when they're scraping fucking kids and dogs off the tarmac. We know it's a lie. Even the fact that you're willing to repeat it when everybody who has a hole in their fucking arse knows you're a liar. Everybody knows you're a liar. How can you be so brazen? Again, because communists are brazen. They don't care. At least Trump looked a bit sheepish when he told a blatant fucking lie. They do not care. Jack Dorsey and Zuckertwat, Doorstop and Zuckertwat, there's a name for a show when it's all a meandering comedy after this fucking nightmare is over. Doorstop and Zuckertwat should be in fucking jail because they went to court and under oath committed perjury and said with a fucking straight face, and honest to God, I think even Owen Jones would admit that Twitter has a left-wing bias, right? Surely even a shameless liar like Owen Jones has a limit. I think even Laurie Penny would say, yeah, concede Twitter and Facebook is a little bit left-wing biased. And they went to fucking court under penalty of perjury and said, Twitter's not biased. Twitter's not biased. No, Twitter's not biased. No fucking way. You lying, rat-faced, goat herder-looking, creepy, weird, orgy, sex pest. Doorstop. There's another one. Lower than a gecko's testes. The fucking bar for Silicon Valley is low. And all of these somehow manage to crawl under it, turn themselves into a puddle of slime and slither under a bar set lower than a snake's arsehole. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. They are shameless, brazen liars, and they hate you, dear watcher. They hate you. If you're working class and you care about personal freedoms, freedom of speech, freedom of thought and deed, democracy at large, they fucking hate you. They hate you. They hate you like Charles Bronson hates Ian Huntley, yeah? We know how nonsense go down with Charles. He does bench press with them and then throws them out his cell window. These people are fucking evil. And they hate you. And they're coming for your children. I mean, again, the bar's as low as it goes. It's subterranean. Beelzebub's got the bar. They're coming for your children. Hence Desmond is amazing. Hence brainwashing kids. Hence filling the head full of gender-bending shit and telling 4-year-olds they should be watching fucking anal fisting. These people are fucked in the head. They are mentally ill. And they're coming for your kids. Just remember that. Right? They're not just after the bootneck. I've got broad shoulders, I can take it. They're coming for your kids. To quote Alan Partridge, I've got your kids. It's fucked. That's how bad they are. They're coming for them, and Joe Biden wants to sniff them senseless. And probably some other things that he doesn't like to do when the cameras are on. Right? Thanks for watching, guys. I'm gonna fucking do one. That was nearly 40 minutes. You can have that for now. Thanks, as always, for all your support. Like it and share it and all that bollocks. Because funny old thing, Silicon Valley don't like it when you point out that they're creepy sex pests. They don't like it. They're not keen on it. Alright? Thanks a lot, Kate. Good job modding. You're a good egg. And everybody else, you've got plenty of taste. I'll see you all very soon. Take it easy.